If you're highly intelligent and have few or no close friends, this isn't about social skills. It's about how your brain is wired. Psychology reveals that high intelligence creates specific patterns that make deep friendship nearly impossible, not because you're broken, but because your mind operates on a frequency most people can't match. Here's what's really happening. 1. Your brain processes social interaction like a computer, and that kills spontaneity. When most people have a conversation, they're just talking, but highly intelligent people are running a full analysis in real time. You're reading microexpressions, detecting inconsistencies, analyzing tone, predicting where the conversation is going, and questioning the deeper meaning behind every word. This is called hyper-analytical processing, and it's not something you can turn off. While everyone else is laughing at the joke, you're still back at the setup wondering what it revealed about the person who told it. You're not present in the moment because your brain won't let you be. It's constantly scanning, evaluating, making connections. And people feel this. They sense that you're observing them instead of connecting with them. They feel studied, not seen, and that creates distance. You think you're engaging, but really you're analyzing, and by the time you're done processing what someone said, the moment to respond naturally has already passed. So you come across as detached, slow to react, or emotionally distant, when really your mind is just moving at a different speed. This isn't coldness, it's cognitive overflow, and it pushes people away without you even realizing it. 2. You see through social performance instantly, and once you see it, you can't participate. Most human interaction is scripted. How are you? I'm good. How was your weekend? It was great. These are social rituals, autopilot phrases people exchange without thinking. But highly intelligent people recognize these scripts immediately. And once you see that most conversations are just people reciting lines, you can't fake your way through them anymore. Research shows that people with higher cognitive ability have what psychologists call low tolerance for performative behavior. You spot fake enthusiasm from a mile away. You notice when someone's pretending to care. You see the masks people wear, the personas they perform, and it makes you physically uncomfortable to play along, so you don't. You stay quiet when others perform small talk. You don't fake laughter at jokes that aren't funny. You refuse to mirror emotions you don't actually feel. And this makes you seem cold, aloof, or uninterested when really you're just being honest. The problem is, friendships are built on a certain level of social performance. You're supposed to validate feelings you don't understand, show interest in topics that bore you, and participate in rituals that feel meaningless. Intelligent people can't do this without feeling like they're betraying themselves, so they withdraw. And people interpret that withdrawal as rejection when it's actually just a refusal to be fake. 3. Your conversational needs don't match what most people offer. Highly intelligent people don't want to talk about what happened. They want to talk about why it happened, what it means, and how it connects to larger patterns. But most people talk about events, gossip, surface observations, what they ate, who said what they watched. And when your mind naturally drifts towards systems, ideas, and abstractions, there's no bridge. Psychologists call this cognitive isolation. You're not avoiding conversation, you're starving in it. When someone complains about their day, you're analyzing the belief systems that created the problem. When someone talks about their relationship drama, you're seeing the psychological patterns they keep repeating. You're not trying to be superior. Your brain just doesn't stay on the surface. It dives deeper automatically. And this creates a painful gap. You constantly have to translate your thoughts down, simplify what you want to say, hold back so you don't overwhelm or confuse people. You learn to stay quiet, not because you have nothing to say, but because what you want to say doesn't fit into normal conversation. And over time, you stop trying. You retreat into your own mind, where at least your thoughts make sense. And people see that retreat as you being standoffish, when really it's just exhaustion from never being met at your level. 4. You're too self-sufficient to create the dependency friendships need. Here's a truth most people won't admit. Friendships survive on mutual need. Someone to vent to, someone to help you solve problems, someone to validate your feelings. But highly intelligent people solve their own problems. They process emotions internally. They figure things out without needing external input. This is called emotional autonomy, and it sounds like strength, but it's a friendship killer. Because when you never ask for help, people stop offering. When you never open up about struggles, people stop checking in. When you solve everything alone, people feel like they don't matter in your life. And they're right, not because you don't value them, but because you don't create space for them to be needed. Most people bond through shared vulnerability and depending on each other. But if you never show weakness, never admit you're struggling, never let anyone see you need something, people assume you don't want closeness. So they back off. Not because they dislike you, but because they don't know how to be useful to you. And you're left wondering why everyone drifted away, not realizing you built the wall yourself by being too capable, too independent, too self-contained for anyone to find a way in. 5. You recognize behavioral patterns, and once you see someone's loop, emotional investment fades. Highly intelligent people are pattern recognition machines. You see how people repeat the same mistakes, cycle through the same drama, create the same problems while refusing to acknowledge their role in it. And once you see someone's pattern, it's hard to stay emotionally engaged. You're not judging them, you're just watching the loop play out. You can predict what they'll say, what advice they'll ignore, what excuse they'll make next, and this awareness creates detachment. Studies show that high intelligence correlates with reduced emotional reactivity to predictable behavior. Once you understand the mechanics of someone's choices, you stop feeling surprised by the outcomes. You care about them, but you're also observing from outside the emotional storm, seeing clearly what they can't see. And people feel that distance. They sense that you're not emotionally hooked into their story the way others are. They feel analyzed instead of supported, and they interpret your clarity as coldness, your pattern recognition as judgment. So they pull away, seeking friends who will stay emotionally reactive, who will be shocked and outraged and validate their victim narrative. You can't do that because you see too much, and that awareness leaves you standing alone. 6. You fail at friendship maintenance because your mind prioritizes depth over consistency. Friendships require maintenance, quick text replies, remembering birthdays, checking in regularly, liking posts, and showing up to events. It's a social transaction. But highly intelligent people fail at this, not because they don't care, but because their attention is absorbed elsewhere. They're deep in thought, working on projects, exploring ideas, solving problems. And while they're mentally engaged, days pass, messages sit unread, plans get forgotten. People feel neglected, and they are, but not intentionally. Psychologists call this priority misalignment. Your brain allocates attention toward what stimulates it intellectually, not what maintains social expectations. You value deep, meaningful connection when it happens, but you don't value the constant small gestures that keep friendships alive. Quick texts feel trivial. Small talk feels draining. Maintaining contact for the sake of contact feels inauthentic. So you don't do it, and people drift away, interpreting your silence as disinterest, when really you're just operating on a completely different priority system. By the time you realize the friendship faded, it's already gone, and you're confused because from your perspective, nothing changed, but from their perspective, you disappeared. And the statistical reality nobody wants to accept. The higher your intelligence, the fewer people can match your depth. This is simple math. If you need a certain level of intellectual stimulation, emotional authenticity, and conversational depth to feel truly connected, and only a small percentage of the population operates at that level, loneliness is inevitable. Most people find friendship easy because they're compatible with a wide range of personalities, but highly intelligent people have narrow compatibility. They need someone who thinks deeply, communicates precisely, tolerates silence, values ideas over small talk, and doesn't require constant emotional performance. That combination is rare. So they wait, they stay selective, they refuse to settle for surface-level connection that feels hollow, and they walk alone, not because they're incapable of friendship, but because they won't compromise their need for depth just to avoid being alone. They'd rather feel whole by themselves than half empty surrounded by people who don't understand them. Here's what this all means. If you're highly intelligent and you have few or no close friends, it's not a flaw, it's not social failure, it's how your brain operates in a world that runs on scripts, performance, and surface-level exchange. Your mind demands authenticity, depth, and intellectual substance, and most people simply don't operate there. You're not too much or too difficult. You're just built for a rare type of connection that most people can't provide. And until you find someone who matches your frequency, being alone isn't loneliness, it's protection. You're not broken, you're just selective, and that's not weakness. That's wisdom.